Right now, I just was recently promoted to CEO and president of TracyLocke. And I didn't kind of come to that role in the linear way that you would think in terms of climbing the ladder. And I don't think I ever had in my mind that I definitely wanted to be a CEO. I just knew I always wanted to be good at my role and to make other people better at their roles. And I think I recognized earlier on that I had a talent for talent, that it was a nice blend when you're in a professional services organization and when you're in an agency that touches so many businesses and so many clients. You recognize that the greatest asset that you have is your talent. Our output is often a very creative, very innovative output for clients, but at the heart of that are people. And unless those people really understand what their strengths are and how to bring out their best, and then how to do that in a collective and in more organized fashion with many, not just as individual contributors, which is what makes an agency different too, then you never can really truly deliver on what the agency is setting out to do for clients. And so that's what really attracted to me about this agency environment and the ability to be an entrepreneur within an Omnicom system where there's already scale, where there's already lots of deep resources, and there's many, many people at your disposal. And what started getting really exciting for me was building a culture, building individuals that could understand and recognize their own personal potential and how they could go beyond it. I was sort of acting as coach and mentor in a lot of ways to people, and seeing that that's when the organization was thriving and was at its best, and we were able to accomplish business goals through people really striving to be at their best. I think that actually when people think of me, and I'll speak kind of outside in first, they often attribute the idea of discipline to me. I mean, going back to since I was a child, I was doing ballet at a very young age for many, many years. And I think from that experience, there was this sense of the importance of a ritual, of the importance of practice, day in and day out commitment towards something. And you don't know when you're doing it, but then you start to see that your own personal body of work and your own growth as a human being that comes out of something like that, that your perfection, your ability to have an expertise came from that commitment to something. Whether it was personally driven in the beginning or not, I think it helps when it catches quickly that this is about an intro aspect of your own self that you're committed to. But I think that oftentimes today it gets lost that when greatness happens, when people are at their best, when you see world class or best in class, it comes from, whether it's an individual level or at a multiplied by an organization level, it is a commitment and discipline about the day in and day out work that it takes to be an expert, to be at your best. And I find in a creative organization, it's interesting because sometimes people feel like those things can't always be aligned. To be creative, there's got to be a sense of either chaos or freedom or openness. But when you actually tie creativity and discipline together, you can get at the absolute best in terms of both individuals and then the collective whole, really contributing to a client and to the output of an agency. Because it really does take a practice, and it takes an ability to have iterations and to continue to build and to compound and collectively accumulate what really takes to be at your best. I would say it's going to sound very cliche, but in terms of the best advice for a young person, it's about dreaming big. This is the time. I remember when we used to learn about financial investment earlier on, they always say risk big when you're younger, dream bigger when you're younger, because that's how you're going to get to a very fast track of making that a reality. So it's really about exploration. It's about allowing yourself to kind of go into your dreams and explore and know that you're going to celebrate and love the journey along the way. I think sometimes when we're in that place of almost passion where we feel most alive, rather than just stay there and go deeper into that and really follow that, we sometimes run from it. And it could be because it's sometimes a little scary, or that we don't think we should have permission this early on to go there. But I think absolutely that's the best of what life is about. And again, we're not here for a long time, so why not get earlier on to your personal mission versus putting it out there and saying, I'll do what's safe right now. As people are young, it's absolutely the best time to really explore that dream. If you don't know what it is, if it feels kind of elusive or whatever, then that's even more time to experiment and to get out there and to try different things, to start to get a true sense, to become self-aware about the stuff that feels really magical for you. For me, it's sort of been about how do I crystallize all that I've been about, sort of my own personal philosophy, and think about it in terms of like an idea, a single idea, or potentially a word. And the word that I landed on was grit. I love that word. I mean, we don't hear it that often, but when you think about it, it's pretty powerful and it speaks to a very strong attribute. And I think that to me, it's been about when I can tap into my own personal grit, it really means that dedication, that commitment, that discipline, resilience, adaptability, all these things that are really kind of unique and honed skill sets, that then if you can think about how do you now inspire and make that kind of contagious in an organization, the sense of grit, of possibility, of the fact that when things get really tough, that's when we get even better. When the economy went down, and we think about this in terms of cycles of life even, we don't run away from those things. I think most great entrepreneurs have that too, that sense of perseverance at something, where you have like the single-mindedness about something. And to me, that characteristic, that heart of that is grit. And I'd love to be able to tell that story to the world, help them figure out that, it's hard to make it into a formula, but there is something that's very powerful that I think will lead a lot of people to personal success in that.